Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Modern Nerd. I'm Triple Big Nut.
I'm Sir Slice.
I'm Smerchandise.
I'm Tempest Gnome.
And I'm GJC. We had that totally right.
We're good.
Order. That order was perfect.
And as always, we are
Massive
Massive
I
Nerds.
can't see the other hand.
Oh, you guys suck.
What? We don't suck. This is going so well. Hello and welcome again. As you can see, this is a very special episode. We have guests, and we are so excited to have them on to give a better perspective on a movie that we saw. We went and watched Shazam 2, and we're done with the podcast. See you guys later. So we all went and watched this a couple hours ago, and some of us watched it yesterday. Did you watch the first one the other day?
I did watch the first one.
And then you,
We watched it. Yeah.
We're the only ones that didn't, so that's exciting. So we will review Shazam 2 in today's episode. But I want to start, as always, to thank everybody here for doing this with us. It has been absolute chaos, which anyone who has been tuned into this stream earlier got to see the chaos as we set up this camera setting here at GJC's. So again, thank you guys for doing this, and thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Give it a like and subscribe right here on GJC327 Twitch, and also over on the Modern Nerd YouTube channel. We have done 2 of these now here live together because we can, and we're excited to do so. And if we can in the future, we'll do it again. So, ladies, what did you think of the movie?
First.
It was fine. It's alright. It didn't suck.
I liked it, but I liked it because I was distracted and it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gentlemen. All right. Caesar has spoken.
I don't have much to say.
Down with Zachary Levy. Levi?
I only had 2 things to say, and we'll get to it. And that's it.
Yeah, it was fine. You know, I didn't go into Shazam thinking that this was going to be the next most amazing superhero movie ever. With the whole reset coming, which we'll get to in a minute, that this was very low expectations, and it pretty much hit those low expectations, and it was
This
funny.
is my strongest feeling about it. I was whelmed.
There you go. Whelmed.
What does that mean? It means I saw a movie.
Hey, what's that from?
I don't know.
Someone's always making the jokes. Like, everyone's always overwhelmed or underwhelmed, but no one's ever whelmed.
Isn't that from Ant-Man?
What?
I think it's from Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what Paul Rudd says.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
maybe.
I felt the same way I felt after Shazam 1. I watched a movie, and then I moved on with my life.
So if you haven't seen the first one, you don't need to. If you haven't seen this one, you don't need to. It was a fine movie. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and some action scenes in between. So the premise of this one was, it was the premise of every Fast and the Furious: family. So they went and you meet them, and their family is disbanded because they're all wanting to do their own thing, and the new kid wants to try and keep everyone together, and then you meet some daughters of Atlas, some gods, and they want to. Motives unclear, kind of, in the beginning of the movie. They want to reclaim the realm for the gods, but Lucy Liu is fucking, scorned, so she wants to destroy Earth, apparently.
Here's the thing. Tim loves movies, and he can get in just about anything. Hearing him struggle to motivate himself to get through this is a testament to just how kind of like... Yeah, you think it's 100%.
The things it's 100% my fault.
The things I noticed most in the movie were not the movie itself. Like, I kept thinking about that poor kid that the dad had to keep taking out of the theater because things were getting too scary at one point or another.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. There was always something super scary. And I was like, oh, poor kid, because it was like a kid's movie, but all of a sudden something super scary happens, which is just like the last movie, weirdly enough.
Well, because the director of it was formerly of horror movies, so
I feel like it's like maybe they should pick a lane. Kind of.
Yeah. It's like,
it's trying to do a lot of
bite
things.
This guy's head off, and you're just like, okay.
And like everything seems like a twist on something you've seen before.
Yeah.
And that's hard. I mean, that's just comes with being a superhero. But literally, he like when I mean, one of the inside jokes is like they have everybody like all the powers, like or whatever, like all the powers.
Captain Every Power.
Captain Every Power. Literally, that's what it is they try to find like a little bit from everybody and put it into this one hero. And so, what the problem is, he just doesn't do. When you do that, like it's like jack of all trades. He's just not very good at anything.
Yeah.
He could do everything, but he's not very good at anything.
There was a lot of points where like Shazam was just standing around. Like he's like, I'm just gonna move my family and make sure they stay safe. Like.
I mean, do we? How much do we want to dive into like?
Well, let's do this. Let's figure out. We've all kind of marinated with it. Nadi, what is your favorite part about this movie? Yep.
I know, I'm trying to think of that too.
You know, actually, I really enjoyed the fact that like they did focus on family and like, you know, someone who was in the foster care system and trying to get kind of right with the fact that he's about to age out of the system and like, you know, he's got his abandonment issues and things like that. Like, you know, I appreciated that they put that like human spin on it and that it felt pretty real. Definitely tugged at my kind of sympathy. Like I can't even begin to imagine because you're like 18 or about to be 18 and you're like an adult, but like you still don't know how to do laundry.
You're still
like,
a kid.
do you have a bank account? Like, you know, what the fuck is going on? And so just I don't know, trying to remind my kids.
Christina, what is yours?
I mean, I think that too. I also kind of liked, you know, that they were more details about the lair. Like I like learning about the library, Harry Potter room.
That was cool.
That's what it was. And I'm glad someone was exploring all the doors. So I feel like all of them should have been doing that.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. That was fun.
I think the movie would have been much more fascinating if it was just them exploring these doors and fighting things off.
Something from one of the doors or something.
Right?
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I also love that they use the ESRB. E for everyone for the doors.
Yeah.
One of the
like
doors.
M for mature.
M for mature. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean there was some humanity in the whole movie, you know, whenever you bring in like new characters and everything, you kind of try and, you know, fit them in with the dynamic, especially because in this one of the third sisters, Anthea or whatever they call her, was, you know, spoilers, it turns out to be like a good evil sister. And so, you know, she has to kind of fit into the dynamic for being like Freddy's girlfriend or whatever, even though she's 6,000 years older than him. So, you know, I liked some of the comedy. That's gonna pretty much be what I am. But like at the same time, I'm kind of over the saturation of comedy in movies, and in really in every movie, not just superhero movies, but superhero movies specifically. Yeah. But it fit. It worked. They were, you know, they were a little bit more in line with their younger characters. I don't know. Dan, what did you like about the movie?
I like the unicorns.
There you go.
There was this like I don't know if this was the actual lore on unicorns, the king of beasts. I don't know if that's a real thing or not.
Fucking cool though.
Regardless, what a fun take on unicorns. They were kind of badass, and the scene where they're riding in on them was awesome. And I also was like, what movie are we watching again? Yeah. This is Shazam. They're riding a bunch of unicorns. What happened to their powers? I don't know.
It's like Gandalf.
I can just picture somebody walking into the theater and like, I'm not in the right movie. This isn't Shazam. I'm like, anyway, it was fun. I enjoyed that part.
Yep. George?
Trying real hard to think about what I liked.
It's hard.
Really liked.
It wasn't terrible, but there wasn't a lot that like really like.
It was a lot.
It
like
wasn't
any
terrible.
Other,
you know,
middle of the road.
I will say I like the performance of Freddie and Adam Brody.
Yeah,
okay.
They're the same person.
They're the same person,
okay.
And that kind of is a good segue.
Yeah. Well, everybody else, other than Zachary Levi and the other whatever the kid's name is, everyone else was pretty dead on. Like, what was
his name? Doesn't
the character's
really
name that you liked, baby? What was the youngest?
Oh,
the little
Darla.
girl's name?
Darla,
What?
Yeah.
Darla.
Darla.
Yeah.
Those two were like on the same wavelength, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone else was fine. You know, Mary's literally the same
because
person.
Megan Good's a good actress.
Yeah, and so, but then you have Zachary Levi and what's his name? I don't even know his name, but they were closer to the same character or same character type in this movie than they were in the first movie, but that's not saying much because they were basically this far apart in the first movie and now they're this far apart in this movie. So, you know, there was moments that really, there was like one or two lines where you could kind of see the younger character come through in Zachary Levi's portrayal, but for the most part it was, I'm a kid, la-da-da-da, totally dude, like whatever bro.
I
And
don't
I'm
know a
like,
lot of 18-year-olds who talk the way Zachary Levi talks. By the time you're 18, I feel like there's a little maturity. He played an 18-year-old like he was still playing a 14-year-old.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that even when he was a 14-year-old, he played him like he was like a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
Like it just
it's
really
just-
wasn't.
It's as if somebody wrote script for a kid who never met a kid of that age ever.
Yeah.
Have you, like, the person who never met an 18-year-old in his life and then wrote lines for an 18-year-old?
But I think you're actually trying to like give some people more credit. Like think of you guys when
What?
you guys were 18.
Rude.
No, it's right.
We were sophisticated.
Were you?
We watched
I've seen the
Shazam
videos
1.
and pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
We watched Shazam
I'm
1
like, you
yesterday.
acting like, I mean, listen to the way you talk now
Dude,
and the age
Shazam
you are.
1,
Bruh.
there are, in the first Shazam, there are at least like 5 holy molies. We were not saying holy moly at age 18.
No, that is true.
Sure.
That's
Okay.
That's the biggest
fine.
thing. Like, no one's saying holy moly. No one's saying holy moly 20 years ago. Like,
I say it now, Dan.
we're swearing up a
Shots
storm.
fired.
I say holy moly. Wait a minute, I say holy moly. I'm like, wait a minute, I say holy moly all the time.
Well, I stand corrected.
You want to know?
But I'm a boomer, so.
You know who wrote this movie? Was that Steve Buscemi character that walks in and goes, "What's up, my dudes? Hello, fellow young
Hello,
people."
fellow
Young
youths. Yeah.
That was pretty much what it
SNL.
was.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the action when it existed was kind of cool. That dragon was kind of badass, I will say.
Yeah,
A
that was
wooden
cool.
fucking dragon that looked like it was made out of a tree. That's
yeah.
cool. You don't really see that
Well,
very
yeah, how
often.
was that dragon flying with all the holes in its wings?
Whatever.
I-
It's-
Why
Magic.
doesn't he catch on fire if
Magic.
he's a tree?
Duh.
And then I'll say, like, when towards the end, when the dragon's trying to kill Freddy and Anne, and he's using this, it's got this ability that as people get close to it, they get paralyzed from fear. But
Yes.
like then the next scene that you see the dragon, he literally just tries to light someone on fire. I'm like, if you want to kill him, light him on fire. Like that's a surefire way,
Yeah.
not wait for them to try and die from fear. Like what the fuck? So you know, there was a lot of weird little plot holes in this movie.
Oh, I just remembered. I liked the mythology references of it.
Sure. So for us,
Yeah,
like, somewhat
I'm
inaccurate.
I'm glad that they realized that Alice was a Titan, but also then, like, you know, spoilers, but when Wonder Woman comes in at the end, she's like, oh yeah, the power of Zeus, and it's like, is it Atlas or is it Zeus? Or are you trying to think that it's the same thing?
I don't like the mixing because
Yeah,
it's like
that's
Solomon, and then it's Greek, and then it's Roman,
Yeah.
and then when they were doing that last scene when Wonder Woman came in, there was pyramids in the background.
Were there?
Yeah.
I didn't
And then
even
there's
see
the
that.
seven-
Oh my gosh.
Well, it was a little hard to tell if they were like mountains or pyramids, but
Okay.
you could.
Maybe they're behind. I don't know.
But yeah, but then
They
also
go
the
over
seven,
well.
the seven
So
deadly
it's like-
sins, like
Yeah, they're all
pick a
over,
mythology.
Yeah.
they're all over the
And
fence.
Black Adam is very Egyptian, too.
That's true.
Super.
Yeah.
So it's all over the place as far as the mythology.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But
Yeah.
anyway, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Golden apple and all that jazz.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got the Yggdrasil. I'm surprised they didn't say Yggdrasil and do Norse instead of the Tree of
Yeah.
Life. And I'm like, it's the same.
Then he would have had all of them.
Lot
Yeah,
of
you just bring them all together.
mythologies have
So, you
know.
some kind of a tree.
Which
Yeah.
they did, like, this is one of the first times I saw a movie, like, poke fun at, like, other franchises and, like, directly name
Yeah.
them by name. Like, Avengers and, like,
Ah,
Mr. Marvel, and actually, like,
Captain Marvel.
Mr. Marvel was blatantly, like, say
Well,
it out loud.
Fun fact: the character who, the actor who said the line. So in the movie, they never reference anybody's name because you can't legally say that they are Captain Marvel because they're no longer Captain Marvel because they got sued by Marvel in like the 80s or 90s and they can't say it. So now it's just Shazam, which is dumb because you can't introduce yourself as Shazam because you'll lose your powers, and that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But in this, they're like, hey, look, it's so-and-so. And then one character goes, oh, it's Captain Marvel. The person who said that was, if you are Archer fans, TV's Michael Gray from the 1970s Shazam Super Hour that they did in the 70s. So the actor who played Billy Batson in the 70s was in this movie, and he said, oh, it's Captain Marvel, but he wasn't actually calling him Captain Marvel from DC comic books. He was pretending that he was saying it's Captain Marvel from Marvel Universe, because in DC Universe, Marvel is a comic book, and in Marvel Universe, DC is a comic book. So it was, to me, it was a very like layered joke reference that just missed on every single swing. So, you know, but it's kind of nice that Michael Gray was in it. Give him a little shout out. So there were 2 end credit scenes. We're just skipping right to the end here. 2 end credit scenes.
Wait, we can't talk. There's nothing else to talk about before that?
I guess. What was your least favorites? I know Christina had a point. What was your point you wanted to bring up that you just absolutely loved? It was your favorite thing that happens in modern day superhero movies.
It's not my favorite thing, and I've had this complaint for years, 7 years at this point.
At least.
Why do all the female DC characters have to wear wedged heels? Like, even Wonder Woman wears wedged heels. Like, put her in the go-go boots. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It's a sad. I'm just like, it's impractical, and they're just doing it for looks. Like, it's fucking
2023, still putting them in heels.
It's 2023, but it's just stupid. And I'm shocked that none of the, I guess they're getting paid. If I was an actress, I'd be like, put me in fucking boots. If he's in boots and shit, like, put me in fucking boots.
Yeah, like, you can get some extra height. Like, if they're trying to, like, raise height on people, just put them in, like, a military boot. Those things still have, like, a solid 2-inch heel on the back of the boot. Like, there's no reason to need to do that anymore.
If they're putting fake muscles on guys, they can,
yeah,
you know, put a military boot or some kind of sensible shoe on a lady.
It's funny because it reminds me of an interview that Bryce Dallas Howard did about the first Jurassic World movie that she was in, where her character is running through the fucking forest in high heels, and actually that was a Bryce Dallas Howard request. She wanted to do that. She's like, look, I'm an executive person. This person's not going to own those kinds of shoes. She's not going to be running around in tennis shoes. She's a saleswoman. She's on the front lines of the cameras. She's not going to be running around the forest. So when it came to those scenes, she's like, well, I am also a powerful woman. I can run in fucking heels. Fuck that. I don't care. So they did that. She insisted. Like, the directors were like, no, let's not put you in heels in the forest. And she's like, well, why wouldn't I be? Like, yeah, I can run in heels. I will prove to you I can run in heels. And she did all the scenes in heels, which I thought was interesting.
Like, in Wonder Woman, there's that scene where they're, like, dancing and they're at the party. So I understand someone who's going to be wearing heels and you're going to fight in heels. Yeah. But, like, you're on a beach somewhere in wedged heels.
No. Also, in Amazon, that's supposed to have existed, like, 100, whatever, millennia ago, they're not going to fucking have that. They have gladiator boots. Like, it's not a fucking heel. Yeah. That's not how they fought back in the day.
No. And actually, it was originally men were the only ones that were, historically, if you're going to look at the history of heels, men were the ones that were wearing makeup and wearing heels to show dominance. And it wasn't for women at all. And that's more of a modern thing. Yeah.
Down with the patriarchy.
So that's my spin. Annoying.
Anybody want to tear this apart a little bit more before we discuss the end credit? Go ahead.
Why is it that there's a woman who turns into a super version of herself? It's the same actress, and she's the only one who gets away with it.
Yeah, we tried to argue this point earlier.
It makes no sense.
The only point that I could come up with was every person in this movie is a child except for her. Everyone is under the age of 18. She's actually like 20-something probably at this point. And so when they are gifted this strength and everything, they turn into adults so that they can have the strength and not look like a child fighting crime. My only argument was that she's of age, so she doesn't need to be turned into an adult because she is an adult. It's not that they're getting a secret identity, they're getting... But it's flimsy at best. So
it makes no sense.
In the first movie, she did have... it was another actress.
Was it?
It was another actress in the first movie.
Was
Because
it?
I asked Dan, I was like, why is, if she's 18 or around, why?
Yeah.
But that makes sense. Why doesn't
they
she get a
replaced
secret
her, and then
identity?
just her herself, because then
It was a
the first
different,
movie.
yeah, it was a different
Huh.
actress.
Yeah, the
So,
first
but
movie.
like, what is the reason that Shazam gives? Like, what is the
I don't
reason
think
the
they
franchise
did.
They
did?
don't give one.
In the comics, I think that was my guess, but I didn't really read.
Yeah, because I'm trying to
Shazam.
remember that first one. She didn't look like that.
No, in the first one there was a different actress.
Yeah.
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 Huh.
Yeah.
So why did they?
Good job,
choose to make that move?
Maybe
No,
she
that was
requested
my
it.
question. I'm like, why, if she's 18, why didn't she keep
Yeah.
it? But it makes sense. Why wouldn't it be another actress
Yeah.
to protect her identity?
Yeah,
Huh.
It makes no
it's-
sense. That's
it-
all I can say.
yeah,
and
it's-
what really bothers me about it is like if that's the case where it's like, oh well, the act like she's quote unquote like good looking superhero enough to like cross the threshold to be, before she wasn't, but now suddenly she is, and you're saying she is able to cross that threshold, and she is, then why do you gotta put her in a fucking like triple D push-up bra too, and like
Yeah,
make her
that
all like
annoyed the crap out of me.
like just like, you know, like I either like
breastplates of
you
power.
can't have it like it can't be both ways, I guess I'm trying to say. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean,
Who am I to say? But also
Valid
it's
point.
very weird that like she's the only one who doesn't change.
I guess it's true because they didn't do that for Darla's superhero persona either.
No.
Like she's still a very petite.
Yeah, Megan Good looks
Superhero.
pretty much the way Megan Good looks, and she's
Yeah.
always looked good. So,
Yeah.
like, but then this actress now is like, okay, just so suddenly, like, it's the same person, but with a push-up bra. But then, like, question number
it
2,
wasn't even-
how come
it was
nobody
stopped.
recognized her if she's the same person?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a big one.
What
for
kind
me,
of
too.
secret identity is that? Don't her kids, school kids, or anybody else around the Philadelphia area
know her
recognize
face
this
now.
lady?
Yeah.
Like,
And they even actually do towards the end when they're telling their parents that they're superheroes. Zachary Shazam is like, oh yeah, and that's so and so, that's so and so, and that's so and so, and that's Mary, obviously. And like he says it, he says obviously
so like,
that's
what,
Mary.
what terrible foster parents? You didn't even recognize your own foster child flying around in a cape just with a bigger cup size.
Well, I think the only person that was on
boobs are very
camera was
distracting.
Adrian Brody's.
That's a big plot hole because it's
Yeah.
Adrian, but there's
What?
all these newspaper clippings. And
Adam Brody,
someone-
Adam
Brody.
You would have seen someone would have seen Mary,
Yeah, yeah.
even if it's not the foster parents, the neighbor,
yeah.
the front of the family,
Anyone in the city.
coworker,
Yeah, best friend.
Well,
the foster care
anyone.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
The college counselor.
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
would have said, "Oh, hey,
I just
that's
had a
Mary
meeting with
from
her."
down the block."
Yeah, so a little bit weird, but
Yeah.
whatever. I don't.
My only thing is maybe she requested to be like, look, I'm in this movie. I want to be the superhero. Like, I want to be in the costume and do my stunts. If that's the case, you know what? Fuck it. I'll let it go.
I
Like,
think
I
they say-
respect, you know, like instead of having someone else do it and you're old enough to be a super, fucking go for it.
I wonder
don't
also
care.
maybe it's also for a cost effective reason. They just don't need to hire one extra actress also. So
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to tear this apart anymore because we could just keep doing that for the next
It's
hour.
weird.
But we had 2 end credit scenes. The first one, you had the 2 characters. I can't remember their names.
Harcourt.
I just want to keep calling the other. Yeah, what? Harcourt. And I keep calling him Diebeard because that's
Yeah.
what they call him.
Right.
he is
I
Diebeard.
can't remember his name, but they show up. They're walking through the forest, and they walk up to Shazam, who's being the most ridiculous Shazam. It's just
Back to
Also,
super
really,
young.
Yeah,
what
and then-
was he? He was like backwoods,
Yeah.
West
Yeah, I don't-
Virginia.
I don't know where he
Like,
was,
how'd they know to find him in this random
Yeah.
nowhere?
but then they go and
His name is
ask him,
John Kanamos.
Steve Aggie. Yeah, so they ask him to join the Justice, and then he goes, yes! And so you think it's the Justice League, but then it's like, oh no, it's the Justice Society. Which, like, I'm glad there's a Justice Society, but, like, it's also the biggest fucking joke of a Justice Society. Like, I read the JSA, and I read Kingdom Come comic books, which were fantastic. Alex Ross and someone else did the writing, but it was this awesome crossover event where, like, the JSA comes and meets the JS... L, what? JL. Sorry, and
Didn't say anything.
What are you talking about? And so like,
And this is the episode Tim finally lost it for documentation.
but like
purposes.
you've got these cool characters in the Justice Society, and like you're given like
They all died.
Yeah, you get shitty versions.
Black Adam
of them.
killed them all, don't you know? Did you watch Black Adam? He killed them all.
So
Wait, no, that's not what happened in Black Adam. Did he literally just kill most of Black?
Did you see the movie?
No. So call
What happened to the dude with the
Didn't
dude with the wings
All right.
die?
Anyways,
What about the dude with the helmet? Pierce Brosnan died.
Pierce Brosnan died, yes.
Yeah.
But
Dr.
the thing
Fate?
about
yeah, he
Yeah.
died.
the thing
Yeah,
about Dr.
definitely.
Fate is it's
That was
not
so good.
it's not Kent who's
Yeah.
Dr. Fate, it's the helmet. The helmet chooses someone else and they become Dr. Fate. So Dr. Fate will always be in this universe.
Oh, you mean like a certain ring?
Kind of.
Mm.
But I'm not going to get into how they butchered all of that. But they're adding Shazam to the Justice Society. But it's like, why? Because we now know that like they're not going to exist in this new universe going forward in the DC.
Well, they
universe.
probably didn't know that going into this.
But like, why even? But now they do. Take
But
it
why-
out. Just take it out. We don't need that scene. Like, there's
Why
no
bother?
point
Why
in
bother?
taking it out.
Series
You
on
know,
it?
taking it out might have cost them more to do that than just leave it the way it was.
It's just stupid. Maybe they added it in. I don't know.
Either way, I mean,
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure they filmed it all before he showed up to kill it all. So, I mean,
Who knows?
what do you mean? Who knows? That's exactly what it was. The
Moral of the
Shazam was
story-
made a long time ago. It was all filmed a long time
Moral
ago.
of the story: we didn't care then, we don't care now, we probably won't care, even though James Gunn's taking over. And
Yeah.
DC, killing it as usual.
Yeah. And then the second scene was, I feel like this was just a troll to fans, because the end credit of the first movie ended with the Caterpillar Mr. Mind talking to Mark Strong's character in the jail cell, and then the final end credit scene of Shazam 2 was literally Mr. Mind talking to fucking Mark Strong's character in a jail cell, and he even pokes fun at it. He's like, I'm 57 years old, and you want me to wait? It's been 2 years. I don't have much to do here. And then the Caterpillar is like, I have a plan. He's like, well, what is it? He goes, I have a few more things to do, and then pisses off. And you're like, what the
Yeah, I have
fuck?
no legs. It takes me a while to get places.
I'm just glad we're finally getting our SpongeBob SquarePants crossover, because seeing Plankton talk to this guy was a crazy twist. I really don't care. I don't. That's my. I don't. Why is this cat? Post-credit scenes are supposed to be exciting. This is the same post-credit scene we saw on the last Shazam, and nothing happened with it. Why do we care? We don't. We don't.
What did you ladies think of the post-credit scenes? Did you care after watching either of them?
No.
No.
And the female perspective, ladies and gentlemen.
It was just
Adam Brody,
it was
dude.
the same one. It was the same one,
Yeah.
and then I was just like, "Why is he in some backwoods, middle of
Yeah.
nowhere, shooting beer cans?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why?
We
It
don't.
felt like a afterthought, and
Yeah.
I think it didn't add anything, and it didn't like allude to anything. And I don't. Maybe it's because of my lack of knowledge with like, Justice League stuff, but I know that at some point in time, Shazam does join the Justice League. But like, I don't know about his time with the Justice Society, so
I don't
I'm
either.
just kind of like, okay, can we just like skip to the good part? And
Right.
I
Skip
want to
to
see
the good
Shazam
part
as part of the Justice League with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. But now we have to go through this nonsense of the Justice Society, and I'm like, who's even in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do we even know if Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot or whatever is
Nope.
going to be
Nope.
in?
Nope. She's gone.
She's gone. Like, they're all
Oh,
gone. So
man.
it's just like, this is, to me, this is very reminiscent of like when they were releasing X-Men Apocalypse Dark Phoenix. Because the purchase of Fox by Disney had already gone through, and like we knew they were canceling it. And I went into the movie. I mean, the movie was fucking horrible. But
Waste
then
of
like you're
time.
just like, why are you like, why? Like, I don't. Of course, yes, me being me, I'm gonna see it because I'm just a sucker. Like, I watched fucking New Mutants. That was a terrible movie. So but I just don't understand. Like, DC outright canceled Batwoman, and yet we have to watch Shazam 2.
Dude, and Batwoman was supposed to be really good.
Yeah,
And
it
they
looked
fucked
good.
up. You know why they fucked up? Brendan Fraser was in Batman 1. Fraser, sorry. Brendan Fraser was in Batwoman, and he's like, he couldn't be more on fire right now. So they fucked up big time because people would have gone to see that movie just to see the guy who won the Oscar now to like in a Batman movie.
Yeah, they fucked up.
They fucked up big time.
Well, maybe it's because they're about to reset everything. Like the Flash is about to come out. Maybe we'll find out there and see what happens.
They filmed the
you're
whole
right.
thing.
No,
maybe
you're right.
There'll be a new parallel universe, and Shazam's not going to be a part of Justice League, but he will be a part of Justice Society.
Whoa.
And blah blah blah.
Can you fix the camera? Hey, high five. So from like an executive point, not that I'm an executive, but like yes, they're going to reset it. Yes, it wouldn't make sense to release it from a theatrical standpoint, like from a timeline standpoint, but like if you want to make some fucking money, that would have been the movie. You would have had, the biggest comeback of all time in Brendan Fraser. And yes, he's playing Firefly, one of the villains, and like actually a fairly interesting villain who's been around a very long time. And they just screwed the pooch. David Zaslav, I think is his name, the guy who's head of Discovery. Like, just this guy's fucking up left and right. I don't know what they're doing up there. But they're like, hey, we're going to make more Harry Potter. I'm like, why are you picking the wrong franchises to push right now? Like, are you racist? Like, what are you doing? Are you transphobic? Like, why are you backing Harry Potter so fucking hard, but dropping all of your biggest names in DC? Like, it just doesn't make sense that they're doing that. We're standing by Ezra Miller. Not a good call. Like, not a great idea. They're literally, like, the wrong side of town. Now, that being said,
What is this, West Side Story?
Yeah. Once you're a jet,
Speaking of West Side
always a
Story,
jet.
shout out to Rachel Zegler, who was in this movie.
I don't know who that is.
She's in West Side Story. She played Athena, whatever her name is.
Shazam. She was fine in this, but
that's where she's from.
There's
the latest rendition of West Side Story.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, God, she looks familiar. Okay.
So
she's also from High School Musical.
I don't know.
I never saw those. So there was a trailer, an IMAX trailer, which I was glad to see for The Flash. If you haven't seen the trailer for this movie, it does look fucking intense. Like, it looks like a really good movie. Now, all political and horribleness aside from Ezra Miller, like, dude's got chops on the side of the camera, and it's very sad that he has gone down the path that he's gone down, because it really is putting fans in a very difficult position, because this movie is going to be the jumping off point for the next batch of movies that will kind of reset the universe. And Ezra Miller, like, I want to like him as the Flash. I got some issues with it, but that's my own personal problems. But the movie looks great. Like, it looks like it's got good acting. It looks like it's got great fight scenes. You're going to introduce, Supergirl, whatever they want to call her, in place of Superman for this particular Flashpoint story. And it looks like they finally are going to make a proper adaptation from one of their stories with some tweaks, because in Flashpoint, when he goes back in time or into the alternate version, it's Thomas Wayne as Batman and still Clark Kent, or not Clark, Kal-El, who you find kind of crippled in like a underground bunker. But in this version now, they're doing the obvious cash grab of Michael Keaton, and then the new Sarah Kaye, I can't pronounce her last name, version of Supergirl, who looks fantastic. Plus, the director, Anthony Musichelli, he's Italian, super Italian. He did the It movies and a couple other, and the first It movie was fantastic. So this director's really got a little bit of steam going. Ezra Miller had some steam going. Michael Keaton's got a lot of stuff going on that's comeback story. And then Ezra Miller's like, hey, I am a fucked up piece of shit. And so
anyway,
stay tuned to find out if we go watch that.
Stay tuned if Tim can startle me with more loud clapping.
I hope you people at home enjoy that.
Hard.
I'm going to put George back in the frame. Thank you very much. I have no final thoughts. Does anybody have a final thought on this movie or anything?
you're gonna go watch it, just appreciate it for the medium that it is. It's a nice little distraction. You know, if you're not super hypercritical. I mean, I still had a good time. It, you know, it triggered an emotional response, which I always think.
Solid.
Yeah. Very well said. Love what you love. And
Unicorns.
Oh my god. Enjoy the movies.
Helen Mirren.
What?
Helen
Helen
Mirren.
Mirren.
Helen
Helen
Mirren.
Mirren.
Can't do
Yeah.
anything wrong.
Mm.
Dame Judi Dench.
Oh,
No,
my God.
that is that's
That's the
racist.
other white lady.
That's racist.
The other white meat. We're going off the hinges here. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. As always, give it a like and subscribe. If you enjoyed yourselves, we have been the Modern Nerd, and thank you for watching. Don't do that.